Hey guys. All right. So I am trying this fun new thing to broadcast from my computer. So I'm hoping that this is coming through on your end. As it does, I would love to hear from you guys, to see your thumbs up, and to kind of know that this is working. So I'll see your comments just like I was going Facebook Live, but this is just a little bit easier for me to manage, especially for this portion of what I'm going to share about today. So really this group, if you didn't get it from my video yesterday, I have a big passion point for helping people lead healthier lives. And that looks different for all of us depending on where we're starting, what our base knowledge is, where we want to go. I want to give you a little bit of background on me real quick, just to say that I went into nursing, but I was not a healthy nurse. I had come out of a history of a past eating disorder, my late teens, early 20s. And because of that, I had tried so many different things. I had tried every protein shake, every quick fix, pill, HCG shots. I had tried Weight Watchers, points, all kinds of nutrition systems. I thought that anything low carb or Atkins was healthy or would be healthier for me than mainstream food. And I couldn't be more wrong in that assumption. In fact, I was doing my body more harm than good. A lot of the sugar alcohols, a lot of the things and chemicals that go into food to make it sugar-free or fat-free or low carb, all those things are almost worse for you than just eating whole, than what you should be doing, which is eating whole, fresh foods. So yesterday I dove into what was in my pantries, and we didn't spend as much time in the refrigerator. But today I want to share a little bit about why it's important to go whole foods and how to eliminate more of the processed stuff. So this wasn't just because I wanted to get healthier. It was. I had a past eating disorder. I wanted to learn how to do it right. I also was shown through my work as a nurse in the hospital, that what would happen if I didn't. I got face-to-face knowledge every single day of people dying because, and talk about a conditioning exercise, like seeing firsthand what happened when people didn't take care of themselves. Not to mention family history of just diabetes, cancers, heart disease, things that could have been prevented. And so I started digging. I just started being curious. I knew I wanted to feel better. I knew for being a 20-something and being as tired as I was and having these fluctuations in my weight, that wasn't the way I wanted to live my life. I wanted to have a family. So this journey started for me then, just digging. But it didn't really take off until after I had McKenna, because then I had a whole new investment in it. Mike had a really stressful job, some digestive issues, and I wanted to help him get out in front of that, especially knowing that half of the gene pool from my child was going to be coming from him. I wanted to know how to set them both up for success and health. So that's really where my passion for all this started to really explode. And I just started with the basics. Like I told you, I didn't go nuts and like overall everything in one night. I picked passion points. I picked things that I wanted to learn about, and I decided those were going to be sticking points. And then little by little, I started to evolve what we had in our house. I eliminated certain things, especially coming from a past of being a binge eater. I know things that cannot be in our house. I know things that cannot exist without me like having one and going crazy. I'm not at that point today because I've learned mindset and I've learned tips and tricks to maneuver that behavior in myself. But mindful eating impacted my life so much that I can't help but share it with you. So I don't want you to ever take anything that I share in these groups and feel like shame or like I'm putting down a way that you choose to eat. It's my personal way of going about it. It's what's led to overall better health for myself and my family. I've helped my mom wean off of cholesterol meds. I know these things work personally because I do them myself, so I would never recommend anything to you that I don't use myself. That goes for Shakeology, that goes for these workouts, it goes for all the resources I'm going to share with you, and it goes for anything. So clean eating is the elimination of things like, I always call it CRAP. So an acronym CRAP, right? Carbonated, sweetened soft drinks, like refined sugar soft drinks. And the R would be refined sugars. The A would be artificial sweeteners, artificial colors. And the P would be processed foods, things that come prepackaged. And you saw that I have quite a few things that are prepackaged. So I have my own guidelines within that. I'm not here to be an alarmist or an extremist. Like, I'm realistic about life, but I've learned what to look out for that can be most harmful to myself and my family. That isn't mainstream knowledge yet, but it's getting to be there because of things like this, because of communities like this and groups like this. So I'm just here to share that information with you. So I wanted to share a few clean foods resources. Some of these have recipes in them, so for those of you that like to cook, I understand not everybody does, and I've already uploaded quite a few things to the album on our Facebook page. If you got a prep email from me, you also got links to my personal go-to recipes in there. Those are the ones that we use as the most staple in our family. I've then now added an album, and I just added some more content to that album of what exactly is in my pantry and where I find those things, to include sweeteners, because that's an issue for a lot of people. My go-to sweet tooth fix is Shakeology. That's no secret. I make candy out of it. I make cakes out of it. I make tons of stuff out of my Shakeology. So I definitely use that as a staple, but I also use coconut nectar and coconut palm sugar and raw honey. It's really great for you to eat raw honey local to your area, because then you're acclimated to the seasonal allergies and surroundings. And make sure everybody's on here and seeing what I'm seeing. Okay, so with that being said, veggies, whole foods and vegetables. There was a comment yesterday on one of my vegetable things that I got at Costco about packaging. And like I said, I'm not here to be an alarmist or an extremist, but we could pick so many things to haggle over. And packaging is one of them for me, because I care just as much about the environment as I do my health. But here's the thing, I'm also a mom that lives in Hawaii. And if you've ever lived in Hawaii, groceries, nobody has any room to complain about the cost of groceries until you live in Hawaii, because let me just tell you, it goes double. Like, and I'm not even exaggerating. I saw a pint of organic strawberries for $12 the other day. So I get it. I get the struggle, y'all. And I'd shop for the best deals possible. So when I get bulk veggies, which is rare, I get them at Costco, and I try to get ones that don't have a lot of excess packaging because it's bad for the environment. I try to go local farmers market, because honestly, eating something that's locally grown to you, our bodies are meant to work in tune with our environment. So if you're eating locally grown items, that's even better for you. But some of that is not accessible for me here in Hawaii. So I work with what I have, and I encourage you to do the same, because I hear a lot of people that are in remote areas, even the US, that don't have access to a Costco or to healthier options. You do the best with what you can, and that's still leaps and bounds better than the people that aren't even trying or don't even care to educate themselves. And so you're already putting yourself in a place to do better, right? And that's really what we're here to do. So when I do buy veggies, if they are not organic, there are like tiers, and there's a dirty 30 list, and I can show you those things. Anything that has exposed skin, anything that pesticides can be sprayed directly on, like, it's not as important to buy organic bananas as it is to get an organic apple. You know, things like that. There are little things that you can do if you're trying not to overwhelm yourself all at once. But regardless of if it's organic or not, you should always be washing it. This is called Eat Cleaner. And it's a cleaning solution spray. It's a clean spray that I use on all my organic, every veggie that comes through this house gets washed in this. And you can get it on Amazon, but I always wash everything, regardless of where I get it. And I try to get it without packaging, but let's be real, sometimes we can't. Like I showed you my asparagus the other day that I got at Costco. That was just a really good deal, and I love asparagus, and so we went for it. But that's like, it's rare that they had it, and so it's not an all the time thing. That being said, pick what you can do where you're at. Pick one point and educate yourself why it's important. That being said, one of the things that I read early on, and this is probably a little too in-depth for a lot of you, but I wanted to give a premise of this book. It's called The China Study. So people will be like, oh, this is all, it's not important to eat organic. You know, it's not important to do this. Here's the thing. This is a 20-year study that was done in a remote area of China before they had any kind of processed foods or pesticides introduced to their lifestyle. In this book, I'll summarize for you, it showed that once they started to incorporate animal proteins, dairy, they started messing with the crops and genetically modifying, spraying pesticides, the rate with which disease showed up in their population increased double. Like, it just went through the roof. And over time, it continued to get worse. Not only that, but the children start showing signs of food allergies, digestive issues, and it continues to go from there. It's an incredible book. If you ever want to know more, I highly recommend that you read it. But this one is one of the ones that was like an eye-opener for me, because I was going, here we are, and we think about our grandparents all the time and what they had access to, and a lot of times it was locally grown produce before things like GMO or pesticides existed, before things like added sugars, high fructose corn syrup existed. And so, yeah, they will say, I never had that when I was young. Well, no, because your food was never being enhanced with all this extra stuff. This stuff came about in the 70s and 80s. Another great something to watch is Forks Over Knives on Netflix. It'll open your eyes to how things are marketed toward children that are high in sugar, and sugar is more addictive than cocaine or crack. So infusing it into formula for babies, infusing it into sugary cereals for kids gets them hooked at an early age. And it's no wonder we have the highest incidence of childhood obesity, and continues to grow every year unless we do something to stop it. And we are the parents, a lot of us in this group we are the only ones that can start to make those determinations and pull it out of their diet before it becomes an issue for them later on in life. I know my husband, his mom had put soda pop in baby bottles. Like when he's little, not only horrible for his teeth, but think about over time how that starts to work at someone's pancreas and how they produce insulin in their bodies, and can lead to long-term problems down the road. So just knowledge is power. I don't want you to ever feel like anything that you learn here is to shame you. It's just to educate and to do the best you can, right? Do your best and forget the rest. That's what Tony Horton says. All right, another one I love. This one is equal parts good recipes, good clean eating knowledge, a little bit of yoga, and a lot of healthy mindset body image. It's called Aim True by Catherine Buddick. She's a yoga instructor. It says, love your body, eat without fear, nourish your spirit, and discover true balance. It's got some amazing recipes in it. I love her take on it. I swear if she and I were to meet, we'd be BFFs because we just have so many same values as far as food and wellness is concerned. That's a great one. Again, recipes in there too. These ones are more in depth. Again, it starts with food. Huge eye opener for me, and like how you can just clean your diet up. It doesn't take tons of bars and tons of supplements. Yes, I do use Shakeology because it's more than just protein for me. It's a superfood, so it gives me energy. It helps me feel better. My hair grew longer. My skin was better. I felt better overall. So I will never classify that in my world as just a supplement or just a protein shake. And I will argue with you to the ends of the earth if that's something that you believe, because for me, it's been so much more. It's helped my mom come off of cholesterol meds. I can't say enough good things about it. I won't go on a tangent, but this book right here helped me realize that a lot of the stuff we need just comes from whole foods. We need to stop pulling things out of packages. We need to really just look at doing whole foods more. And that's, if you do lean proteins, some bodies are better able to digest lean proteins, and you should have meat or lean proteins. I'm not here to convince you to be a vegetarian, pescatarian, vegan. In fact, I call myself a flexitarian. If I feel like having red meat, I will have red meat. I could pick a point, just like we talked about the environment, I could pick the point of being so concerned with animal rights. Like if you've ever seen Vegucated, oh my goodness, like I almost became vegan because, there's a lot that goes into the animal side and how the meats that we eat are treated. And once you are aware of these things, it just changes your mind about how you want to go about feeding your personal body, but also your family. And right now with me being pregnant, that too. So for me, education is power, but also it's power that I can choose to wield how I see fit in our family and in my life. And at least I know what I want to get when I do choose a meat option, what I am looking for when I'm choosing veggies for my family or processed foods. Clean Foods by Terry Walters. This one again, simple clean foods recipes. Pad Thai summer rolls with dipping sauce, golden beet snap pea salad. Like the recipes have just few ingredients because they're all whole foods, and they're really dialed into like not hard, complicated things. There's not a lot of steps. I'm not about a lot of recipes with a lot of steps. I'm about keeping it simple. This I love because she's a cancer survivor. Her name's Chris Carr. I will tell you that even though there's some amazing juicing and amazing recipes in here, this is a vegan book, but she cured herself when they told her that there was no cure for her cancer through food and nutrition and clean eating. And just the story alone and the tongue-in-cheek way that she shares all about this book and in here, is worth the read and amazing. These ones are just recipe books that I love. Again, I don't subscribe to any one mentality. I am not paleo. I am not vegan. I don't even classify myself as vegetarian. I'm a flexitarian. So anything that you see me recommend here is not because I'm subscribing to that mentality alone. It's because I've found value in it as a resource. So I love Giada's Feel Good Foods. She's an amazing chef, but she also has a health conscientious mind. So a lot of her family meals are really yummy. She does use some pasta. She'll give you some swap outs. She'll give you some vegetarian options. She's not as clean as some of the options that I showed you yesterday, but they are tasty and they give you ideas if you're looking for more recipes. The other one, I didn't pull my Against the Grain, but anything that has a paleo, because paleo is going to encourage you to not use additives and to not use refined things. They're going to encourage you to go whole food. So both of these, the sugar detox, which I run detox groups. I can't classify them as sugar detox groups because I never eliminate my Shakeology, but I do cleanse groups, one of which I have going on next month. It's a 3-week. I often will run the 3-day cleanse, but these books are full of recipes that are great. Mike loves these ones because all of them include meat. Let's be real. He's a North Carolina boy. He likes his barbecue. He will eat whatever I make, and bless his heart, he will tell you that I'm the best cook that he's ever had. But at the same time, like, he has sticking points. He needs certain sustenance, but he also cannot deny that the way that I've cleaned up our diet just by eliminating processed foods has made him feel better, sleep better, digest things better. And overall, he can't help but not feel like the inflammation in his gut has gotten better over time because of Shakeology and because of how we feed ourselves as a family. Was he resistant at first? Yes. But at the same time, I did it in a way that was not offensive, that I told him why I was doing it. And we got on board with it together because it was about the long-term vision of health for our family and what we wanted. And the fact that he has a very stressful job. He's gone a lot. He's with the military. I sent him, I should show you the video of like a big bin I'm sending on deployment with him because he's got so many different digestive issues. I don't want him having issues while he's gone. He needs to be healthy so that when he does finally retire, we have a life that we can live together. This is my favorite. This is my personal favorite, probably out of everything except Aim True. This is called Eat, Taste, Heal. Now, this is more yogic in nature. I'm going to throw some terminology at you. Ayurveda is the sister science of yoga. It's the oldest form of medicine that is still practiced today. If you go see a holistic physician, they practice Ayurveda. They've been trained in this form of medicine. The philosophy, just overviewing it here, is that we are living beings meant to live in an environment that's living, right? So just like all the elements that exist in the world, all the elements exist within us: fire, water, wind, air that fills our lungs, the fire in our belly. We call that Agni. It's what digestion is all about. There's also wetness, mucus, and all the things. And all those things exist in nature too. And every season has all those different elements as well. So with that being said, there are certain people that you look at them and you can see their body frame. And what we call that is like the doshas, and we call them classifications. There's Pitta, Vata, Kapha, and you can tell what somebody is. And I have a quiz if any of you are interested in taking it to find out what you are. But it tells you your body type, and based on that body type, it tells you what kind of foods you should be eating at certain times of the year, because no two bodies are created the same, and we shouldn't all be eating the same thing all the time. What I'm able to eat now pregnant is different than what I would eat in the winter time if I wasn't pregnant. There's different things in my body, even as babies. So McKenna, I had a lot of heartburn, and she's a very fiery personality. We call that the Pitta side. She has certain elements of her physique that look like that, but also she has elements of her dad, which is more Kapha, which is more grounded and more heavy. So she's able to digest meat better than I am. This baby, I've had a lot of mucus production. This baby just seems like they're more heavy. And I'm interested to find out their personality, if they're as fiery as McKenna or if they're more grounded. So there's so many elements that go into this, but this book has the quiz. Not only that, but it gives you all the recommendations of what you should be eating based on your personal dosha. Once you take that quiz, it says, the better sweetener for you is honey, or the better sweetener for you is maple syrup, or the better grain for you is brown rice, the better grain for you is millet, because again, or the better protein for you is going to be soy or plant-based, whereas the better protein for you is going to be red meat. And everybody digests something differently. And so this gives you a little bit of insight to that. It's an amazing science, and I call it a science because it genuinely is, and this is what people practice. And I subscribe to both traditional, I'm a nurse, so I know that there's a place for traditional medicine, but I also subscribe to Eastern medicine as well because I've seen firsthand the healing benefits it can have to just eat whole foods. We're not asking for you to like go off the rails. It's just more fruits and veggies, whether they're organic or not, more lean meats, whether they're organic or not, and don't put a lot of extra shit on top of them. That's really what I'm calling for. So I know that was a lot of content. I don't want to make this super, super in-depth and long for you, but I did want to share these resources because I feel like they're so important. You can educate yourself. I'm going to share also in the up above, it's not there right now, but it will be up above this video. I will share the link to one of my favorite podcasts by Robin O'Brien. She linked up with Tony Robbins to do this amazing broadcast. What I love about it is that she's not a licensed nutritionist or didn't start out that way. Her passion wasn't in nutrition. Her passion was in, numbers and learning about society. And then she realized the correlation between what was going on in her family, what was going on in society and government. And then it all came together and she did this brilliant podcast. And so I would love for you guys to listen to it because it was such an eye-opener for me to learn from what she dove into. And there's so many other resources out there for you guys to dive into, but this is a great jumping off point. I hope you found this helpful. I'll be doing more live videos. Let me know if there's content that you really want me to dive into or talk about. If you have questions, I welcome them all, right? So I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Aloha.